Brooke Logan, please hurry.
Brooke Logan, please hurry.
Goodbye, Brooke.
And don't tell me this is just the way it has to be. Because that is no reason at all. I just need to know why. Oh my gosh! Oh my god. Take your post.
And surprisingly, your mother said yes.
Oh my god, Mom!
But Mom needs to know what you've done.
Time once again for the soap opera rankings, this time November 2022. In last place remains The Bold and the Beautiful. Once again, basically 3 months in a row. One of those months it was tied in last place, but it is definitely in 10th place right now. Nothing good to talk about with Bold and the Beautiful. I have nothing good to say. Bradley Bell's writing continues to be the terrible writing that it usually is, because he writes everybody dumbed down. He writes the same stories over and over, even giving us some of the same scenes we just saw a couple of years ago between Brooke and Ridge and the divorce papers, as it was pointed out on Twitter that these scenes were 3 years apart, basically the same exact scenes going on. I'm going to really point out today why Bradley Bell's writing is so bad and show you why it is so bad. I don't understand how, though, Bold and Beautiful can go up in the ratings, though. Like, they give us the same thing over and over. They give us all these played out triangles where these grown old adults do the same dumb things over and over, don't have backbones, can't seem to make their own decisions, but the ratings go up. I don't understand that at all. Bold and Beautiful in November sweeps has been like the American soap opera to go up the most. I just don't get it. I think what Bold and Beautiful has going for it is that it is so short. You only have to watch it for less than 20 minutes a day. It's a lot easier to do than some of these 35 plus minute soap operas to watch daily. So I think that is still the advantage Bold has over these other soap operas, is that it's just short. But let's get into some of these storylines, I guess. We will start with well, first I want to talk about the fashion show, because I do talk about Big Brother on this channel too. We did have Taylor, Joseph, and Monty appear on a couple of episodes where Taylor was a model, basically, and Joseph and Monty were kind of like the press covering the fashion show that Bold and the Beautiful had. You know, this is a show that has had many fashion shows in its history. This was one of the more boring ones, though, and Taylor didn't even have any lines. She's the winner of Big Brother 24, the most popular person to come out of the season, and they don't even give her any lines. So, you know, just more terrible shit from Bradley Bell there. The main story is Thomas and him setting up Brooke to make it seem like she called Child Protective Services on Thomas when it comes to Douglas. This is Thomas's plan to break up Brooke and Ridge once and for all, so that Ridge can be with his mother Taylor. It's been pointed out several times that Thomas and Steffi care way too much about their parents being together, and Hope also does for Brooke and Ridge. I agree, these are people pushing their 30s, still trying to push their parents back together. It'd be nice if they had their own stories to be involved in, but Thomas never seems to really have his own story to be involved in. So this story basically gives us the triangle that's been happening on this show for literally ever: Taylor, Ridge, and Brooke. And I think this year has cemented that this might be the absolute worst love triangle in the history of soap operas, because it is just so played out, and they're still written like they were kind of written well, they're clearly written worse than they were written 30 years ago because Bradley Bell is not as good of a writer as his father. But also, they're written as like teenagers. I've talked about this for months now, how Brooke and Taylor act like teenagers over Ridge. They don't act like old, grown adults when it comes to this man who just always goes back and forth between them. So we got more of that here with Ridge and Taylor. Ridge, who was just still married to Brooke, proposing to Taylor, and they're gonna speed through with their wedding. I don't know why everyone has to like speed up marriages on American soap operas these days, but especially this show. Like, Ridge was just married to Brooke, he proposes to Taylor, and they're already gonna get married. Why not just date for a while? I get that Ridge is supposedly choosing Taylor once and for all, but we all know that's not going to happen. Especially, I just hate this. I don't even want to talk about this story because it's dumb. It is dumb. And to make matters worse, it is Douglas who figures this all out. Douglas is a child, by the way, and he is figuring out that Thomas is the one that basically set up Brooke, and that is because Thomas is an idiot. Instead of Thomas downloading this app on his own phone that changes his voice to make it sound like Brooke, he downloaded it on his son's phone. He downloaded the app on Douglas's phone, and of course Douglas finds these files and is able to put two and two together.
I'm sorry, Dad, but I just can't stop thinking about what you did to Grandma Brooke. That was wrong.
So Thomas looks dumb for doing this on his son's phone, and everybody else looks dumb because they're written like teenagers who are always jumping into relationships that they have no business jumping into. But Douglas, who's a child, is written like the smartest person on the show. And that's probably not what Bradley Bell was going for. But with Bradley Bell's terrible writing, that's exactly what happened here. Is Douglas looks smarter than the adults on this show by far. Just stupid. In the end, Steffi is the one who Douglas tells this to, and Steffi is going to it looks like Steffi is going to do the right thing. She does tell Taylor that Thomas is the one that called CPS on himself. It wasn't Brooke that did it.
Hello, I'd like to report a child in danger. His name is Douglas Forrester. He's at 369 Willow Hill Road, Los Angeles. His father, Thomas Forrester, is unstable. He has a knife.
Thomas.
It's not exactly what it seems.
Lie to her mother. Tell her the truth.
Tell me now.
Okay, I called CPS, and honestly, it doesn't matter.
So Taylor now has to wonder, does she really want to go through with this wedding to Ridge? Because does Ridge actually want this wedding in the first place when he finds out the truth about what Thomas did? That's what we'll have to see, I guess. I don't care either way. I think the triangle sucks. I don't care who Ridge chooses. The triangle will forever make Brooke and Taylor look bad and dumb. So the triangle does nothing for those two characters. And that's not the only storyline with bad writing. We have Bill basically doing the same exact thing as Ridge here, written like he is trying to play both Katie and Brooke, because, you know, Brooke is single, so Bill's gonna shoot his shot with Brooke, but he's also always acting like he's so in love with her sister Katie. It's basically the same story here, except Carter overhears Bill basically profess his love to both women and calls him out on it, at least. So at least Bill's being called out here. If somebody would only call out Ridge. But this seems to be the only kind of story Bradley Bell can tell, is the guys want to be in triangles with two women and the women let it happen. Dumb. The only other story going on, and it didn't get a lot of airtime, is Deacon and Sheila. I've talked about it months past that these two at least entertained me, but we didn't get a lot of them here this month, so I can't even talk about it a lot. But I did find it odd that Sheila's supposed to be presumed dead and on the run from the police, but they go out publicly on a date. Deacon brings Sheila out on a date. I don't know. There's zero positivity for me to talk about with Bold here. I think it was a very terrible month for the soap opera. Somehow the ratings gone up because I think the fan base is just easy to please because it's such a short show. You only have to watch it for a half hour a day. But yeah, it sucks.